Hello everyone, this is the Casual Fan. Now, even though the dust has settled on the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, there was one key achievement that got swept by the wayside because of the chaos of the last race of the season. And that achievement was Mercedes winning the 8th consecutive Constructors' title in Formula 1. An unprecedented and an unexpected record that not many would have envisioned a team to break, as it involves a certain level of domination that has not been seen in the sport before. Ever since 2014, Mercedes has been the dominant force in Formula 1, and even in 2021, if we have to sit back and look at the 2021 season, it would be hard to deny that Mercedes was the fastest car in the season. Having said that, the question that needs to be answered here is why teams like McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull were not able to mount a successful challenge against Mercedes in 8 years. In these 8 years, Mercedes, except for the 2021 season, have been able to pretty much wrap up both the championships before even the last race of the season. And such has been the dominance that at no point has a singular team been consistently able to take the fight to the combination of Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes throughout the season. Why was no team able to do something like this? Why was Mercedes able to win for 8 seasons in a row and pretty much remain unchallenged while doing this? In this video, we try to answer that very question. Now, the 2014 season had one key regulation change that was going to be the differentiating factor on the entire grid. And that key differentiating factor was the V6 turbo engine. With the 2013 season being the final season for the naturally aspirated V8 engines, we had the introduction of the V6 turbos. And with the introduction of the V6 turbos, what we had was Mercedes having such a head start over the rest of the field that the gap between the first and the second best engine on the grid became preposterous. Mercedes was not only a singular step above the rest of the grid, it was multiple steps above, so much so that the Mercedes engine turned Williams into an overnight frontrunner. Williams, a team that had struggled in 2013, was contesting for poles, picking up podiums, and even fought for wins in a couple of races. All in all, because of the Mercedes engine. Now, the Mercedes power unit advantage has dwindled as the seasons have gone on, but even in 2021, 8 years since the start of the regulations, we have still Mercedes being the gold standard in terms of power unit on the Formula 1 grid. Because of this, Mercedes has gone into every season with a slight advantage over the rest of the field. And that slight advantage of a tenth or two has always kept them in a good stead when compared to the rest of the field. In 2013, one of the key factors that were helpful in Mercedes becoming a dominant force in Formula 1 was the signing of Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was the last piece of the puzzle that was missing from Mercedes, as at that point in time it had a pretty good driver in Nico Rosberg and a fading legend in Michael Schumacher. Schumacher had a handful of years left in him, and he surely did not have the drive or the passion or even the hunger of a Lewis Hamilton who had been struggling for 5 years in cars that were not capable of fighting for the title. Was Lewis Hamilton able to benefit from a car that was much superior from the rest of the grid? I guess the answer is yes. Since 2014, Mercedes has been the class of the field, and there have been multiple races where
Hamilton has had such an advantage that he didn't even need to be at his 100% to win a race. He could be operating at his 80% and that was sufficient enough for him to pick up a win. But having said that, there were races like the Turkish Grand Prix 2020, German Grand Prix 2018, Monaco 2017, and so on. Races where it was Lewis Hamilton who made the difference, where it was not the car but the driver who was responsible for the race being won. And that is why the role that Lewis Hamilton has played in the dominance of Mercedes, it should not be underestimated. Mercedes might have still won the multiple world championships without Lewis Hamilton driving for them. But in seasons like 2017 and 2018, and for sure in 2021, Mercedes might not have been able to win a championship with a Valtteri Bottas or a Nico Rosberg. That was where Lewis Hamilton was the differentiating factor. In Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes ticked off the final checkbox that was needed for a team to be dominant in Formula 1. A checkbox of having one of the best drivers on the grid in one of their cars. Now, when we talk about successful teams in Formula 1 history, we talk about Ferrari. And what we look at Ferrari is a team that was built on stability. And that is something that resonates with what Mercedes has been able to do. While Ferrari had Jean Todt, Ross Brawn, and Rory Byrne heading the various departments in the team, what Mercedes has is Toto Wolff handling the entire operations while delegating the most important work that needs to be done to the most important and trusted individuals. What Toto Wolff has done in these years is provide a sense of stability to the team, where key members that become a part of the team have stayed with the team and performed at a very high level. Wolff was responsible for bringing in Paddy Lowe. Wolff was also responsible for bringing in the likes of James Ellison. And in many ways, Wolff was responsible for the hiring of Valtteri Bottas, who in many ways was the perfect number 2 on the entire grid. While it's true that there is no rocket science behind the success that Mercedes has been able to achieve, one of the key factors is them covering their basics. And one of the basics was having a stable management at the top, so that not much time is wasted on transitions of power from one individual to another. And at the end of the day, the benefits are there for all to see. Mercedes has not slipped up for last 8 years, and one of the key reasons behind it is continuity and stability, something that has seen some of the excellent minds in Formula 1 drive forward and produce some of their best works of their careers. When we talk about Formula 1, we talk about teams like Ferrari, like McLaren and Red Bull. Except 2021, where Red Bull was able to clinch the Drivers' Championship with Max Verstappen, neither of the teams have been able to mount a consistent challenge against Mercedes. Ferrari did put up a semblance of a challenge in 2017 and 2018, but it appeared that the team imploded from the inside and somehow both the campaigns derailed after the mid-season. Now the question is why something like this happened. Why neither of these three teams were able to mount a sustained challenge against Mercedes? Well, if we talk about Ferrari, well, the team has been on self-sabotage mode since 2008. Ferrari has not won anything of note since 2008. It came close in 2010, but that was down to the brilliance of Fernando Alonso, just like the same happened in 2012. Other than those 2 seasons, Ferrari has not been in the frame. And the reason behind that
is the consistent change of leadership at the top.
We've had multiple leaders like Marco Mateacci, Maurizio Arrivabene, and now Mattia Binotto. And throughout all of this, the consistent background politics also doesn't help the team. Ferrari, ever since the turbo regulations were brought in effect, has been in a phase of transition. There is consistent change in leadership, and to add to this, there is just no proper directionality that the team has had. After Ferrari, if we talk about McLaren, then for McLaren, the fortunes nosedived once its partnership with Honda turned haywire. McLaren was basically a backmarker for multiple years during its relationship with Honda, and it has not reached those levels of performance that it was able to display before the turbo era. McLaren right now, be it financially or be it in terms of the operations that it had set up, is not the same team that it was in 2012 when it had the fastest car on the grid. And now talking about Red Bull, in many ways the 2014 regulation change affected Red Bull the most. Being a customer team, Red Bull does not produce its own power units, and that was one of the biggest deterrents that Red Bull had throughout the turbo era. Throughout the turbo era, they struggled with an underpowered Renault engine, and because of that, they could never compete with Mercedes. And once they developed a partnership with Honda, the team has improved by leaps and bounds. And in 2021, where Honda was finally able to produce an engine comparable with Mercedes, Red Bull was able to win the title. So in the end, if you look at it closely, then the main competitors that Mercedes had, all of them struggled from a transition phase or some other backlog that never allowed them to compete at the best of their powers. And that was why Mercedes went rather unchallenged for 8 years in Formula 1. Now coming to the final point, I guess in the last couple of decades, we've seen one clear indication, a change in the pecking order, then there is only one sure shot way of making that happen, and that is a change of regulations. And by change of regulations, I mean a drastic change of regulations. Something that was there in 2014, which helped Mercedes leapfrog Red Bull and become the most competent team in Formula 1. Something that was there in 2009, which led to the emergence of Red Bull, or something that was there in 2005 that helped Renault beat Ferrari and helped Fernando Alonso become the youngest world champion. In Formula 1, if you want a change in pecking order, what you need is a drastic change in regulations. But ever since the turbo era began in 2014, although there have been changes in regulations, they've not been as drastic as maybe a 2014 change or the one in 2009. The changes we've had is an increase in the size of the rear tires, an increase in downforce, things like this, but they are not as drastic because the baseline remains the same. And that is why Mercedes has been able to enjoy an advantage over the rest of the field, because the baseline of the car remains the same. And even though there have been multiple evolutions in regulations, it is not enough for the pecking order to change. Now, in 2022, there is expected to be a drastic change in regulations. Will we see a change in pecking order? There is a high probability that it might happen, but I guess we'll have to wait for that. Having said that, a stability in regulations is something that usually leads to long dominant eras. We had a Red Bull era from 2010 to 2013, and then we've had a Mercedes era from 2014 to 2021. If the regulations stay consistent yet again, then we might see another dominant era for maybe any other team.
It could be Aston Martin, it could be Alpine, it could even be McLaren, it could be any other team, but we might see a shuffle in the pecking order in 2021 because of the change in regulations. Having said that, these were the key reasons why Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton have been able to dominate the sport the way they have in the last 8 years. Now, what do you guys think? Do let me know in the comment section, and please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.